Okay, I've been waiting to make this video for like 2 weeks now, which is kind of crazy. That's how long I've been learning, or at least attempting to learn Japanese, and it's been, oh my gosh, dude, learning or trying to learn a new language is actually just like insane. Like, I think pretty easily the hardest thing I've ever learned. I mean, it's not the thing I've sunk the most time into. Like, I probably sunk a lot more time into speedrunning, but I've been like full try-harding learning Japanese. I was originally planning, okay, so like day one, I'm like, okay, I'll maybe put in 20 minutes of learning Japanese a day. So I like pulled up Duolingo because I had no idea where to start. And I was like, oh, I'll just use this like 20 minutes a day and see if I can like talk to somebody once when I go to Japan. And then it turned into 8 hours a day, bro. Because like, I don't know, I started watching some things and learning. And I was like, I'm not really gonna get anywhere on 20 minutes a day. If I actually want to speak to somebody in Japanese in Japan and like understand them, and like even if it's just terrible, I'm gonna have to put in so much time. And so I've been putting in so much time. I should also probably mention why I'm going to Japan, because this trip, like, it just barely came up. There's I guess I probably shouldn't like name names, but like a group of content creator friends are going to Japan, and they invited me to go like I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, right? And so the trip is in like a month and a half from now. So like when they invited me, it was 2 months from then, and I was like, okay, 2 months is not a lot of time, so I gotta crank, bro. I gotta become a master language learner. And let me tell you, I've not learned a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest. I've learned some things, and it's definitely feeling a lot better. But even like 2 weeks in, doing like, I don't even know how many hours a day, to be honest. I've been tracking it. But like the first 3 days, it was all I did. Like literally all I did. Like it was easily like 11 hours those days. So it's calmed down a little bit, but I'm just doing a lot, and it's kind of all throughout the day. Today's probably the least I've done it in a while, just because I've been running a lot of errands and stuff. And like I'm like, is that like bad for my learning process? Because I feel like if you really want to learn it, you gotta be fully immersed. So I'll kind of just talk about the general the learning arc thus far. Started, right? And I've never taken a language class. I never took one in high school. Never attempted anything like learning a language. And so I was like, well, I've heard of Duolingo, and that's kind of all I've heard about. So I downloaded Duolingo, and I remember logging in. Okay, this was the crazy part. I log in, and it's like, oh, welcome to Duolingo. How many hours would you like to spend a day learning? Because it wants to get a benchmark and like hype you up and keep you accountable, right? Which is really good. And it gave 3 options. There was like, I can't even remember what they were called, but like easy, medium, hard, or like the last one was called intense, and it was 20 minutes. 20 minutes? And you call that intense? That's like my minimum, bro. Like that I had in mind originally. Like spending 5 minutes. I mean, I guess it probably just depends for like if you already know parts of the language, then doing like 5 minutes a day is a good way to keep up, I guess. But I don't know. I just thought that was so crazy. I was like, 20 minutes is called intense. So I got Duolingo. I did that for a little bit, and then I started researching like anything else pretty much, because like I figured it was worth spending quite a bit of time in the beginning to just figure out how to learn. Because, like, I could put in a lot of time. Like, I'm going to need to put in a lot of time regardless to get anywhere in Japanese, right? But if I'm going to put in a lot of time, I really want to make that time valuable as well, right? Because the skill that you achieve at the end is time put in times how good that time was, right? So how, like, efficient you are with studying. And so I watched a couple of videos, and I saw this thing. Actually, my friend showed me, Danny. We were in a call like late at night. He's one of my speedrunning friends. He's like, yo, like the other day I watched this like interesting video on how people learn languages. And so he sent it over to me, and I watched it. And I really like the concept because it goes with something I've thought about for a while about language learning. So in high school, right, at least for me, I hear all the time people like take a language class because it's like kind of required. I kind of finagled my way around it, and maybe I can talk about that. But it's like everybody takes a language class in high school, and people will be like, yeah, I took like 3 years of Spanish in high school and can't speak a thing, can't say a thing. So that's why I never really took a language class, and I tried really hard in high school to not take it, because it really just felt like a giant waste of time, to be honest. Like, I mean, I think learning a language is good, but I think doing it in school, like, just all of my experiences were like, yeah, I learned nothing, and so I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna, like, take extra credits instead and, like, do stuff for college. So that's what I did, right? Fast forward, we're in the call with Danny. He shows me this video. And it's basically a professor, I don't even know his qualifications. He was a professor of language doing something. He was basically talking about how people learn language. And he said there's like only really one way that you actually learn a language. And it's something that like schools don't really focus on, because it's not like you teach the grammar and you memorize the grammar and you learn the grammar. Because if you think about it, we've all already learned a language, like our mother tongue, right? Like growing up as a baby, and we learn through what he called comprehensible input. And so it's basically the idea of, instead of telling somebody who doesn't know, say if I was speaking Japanese and I was trying to teach you Japanese, and I told you how to, like, instead of telling you what an apple is and defining it and sounding it out, I would hold up an apple in my hand and I would say, dingo, dingo, dingo des, dingo des, dingo tabi mas. I don't even know if I spoke there correctly. But then you would be like, oh, so dingo is apple in Japanese, and that's how you learn. And so I watched that video and I was like, oh, that's really smart. So I started looking into comprehensible input stuff. And I actually ran into a lot of things. And so what my practice is now is a whole bunch of different things. Because honestly, I'm still not sure, like, okay, there's probably not a best way to learn a language. And so I've just been doing a whole bunch of different strategies. So I bought a course that I'm doing. I've been watching comprehensible input videos. I bought a textbook that Parrot told me about, because he speaks Japanese. It's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. I've been using the Duolingo app, but not very much. So like I started with that, and I think it was good because like I had no idea where to start. It's like fine to start with, right? But I think you can't like really learn a language just from Duolingo. And so I've been doing a whole bunch of other stuff, but I've been using it in addition to everything else. I've been mainly using it for the what do you call it? Like the alphabet. So I think they have a really good section of like alphabet, and like I've just been like learning the alphabets. Because in Japanese, there's like, dude, there's 3 alphabets. Isn't that crazy? And all 3 of them are bigger than the English alphabet. Like, what the heck, man? I think the language is, actually, I don't really know. It's in the highest category, like hardest category for people to learn. So there's like a national language board or something, and they basically were like, okay, there's like 4 levels of difficulty if you're English learning another language, and Japanese is right at the top there. I don't really know where that tangent was going, but my study these days are doing like these 6. I'm basically doing like 6 different studying methods. So, and I've also only been listening to Japanese music, and I've been watching an episode of Anime a Day, which I'll probably make a commentary in and of itself because I think that's kind of a funny story. I'd never watched anime before. So basically, I wake up and all throughout the day, I'm doing all of these different things. So I'll usually like start with a walk while listening to a podcast, like a beginner's podcast on how to speak Japanese, and then I'll come home, and then maybe I'll do like an hour of studying in my textbook, then maybe I'll watch some comprehensive input videos, and then maybe I'll I'm like forgetting all the things I do. Maybe I'll get on a call with one of my friends to speak Japanese, and that's been really useful. It's been weird because I feel like it's only really valuable if I can speak a little Japanese. So like the first time I got on, like we just went over the alphabet. But I think that's probably one of the best ways to learn for me is just like to like talk with people. I'm specifically talking with Giraffe and Parrot. They both speak Japanese fluently, so shout out to you guys. I definitely need to do a lot more talking with them until the trip, because I have like a month and a half left. So I think I made probably decent progress for a month and a half, but still got a long way to go. So I'm actually, I'm leaving on vacation. I'm doing a lot of trips this summer. I'm actually kind of excited. So I'm going on a vacation to California for like a family trip and VidCon. So I'm trying to like get a couple of videos out so that I have stuff going out then, and that's what you're watching right now. And then I have a little break, and then the Japanese trip. So I'm gonna be studying all throughout there, and the video is kind of ending. I'm gonna stop talking because I usually like ending when the speedrun ends. But yeah, this is a solid speedrun, I think. So yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Peace.